preceding volume, he was offstage for long stretches as global developments unfolded around him. Now the opposite, and, in fact, more difficult challenge of narration awaits. Stalin is present on nearly every page. He is now deep into the violent reshaping of all Eurasia that he announced at the end of Volume 1, continuing to micromanage the ever-expanding party-state machinery, delving into the granular details of armaments production and grain collections, while also conducting a comprehensive foreign policy touching all corners of the planet, and, for the first time, overseeing cultural affairs. But Volume 2 takes place largely in his office, and indeed in his mind. Whereas right through 1927 he hadn't appeared to be a sociopath in the eyes of those who worked most closely with him, by 1929 to 1930 he was exhibiting an intense dark side. As the decade progresses, he will go from learning to be a dictator to becoming impatient with dictatorship and forging a despotism in mass bloodshed. Volume 1's analytical burden of explaining where such power comes from remains. But Volume 2 raises questions of why he arrested and murdered immense numbers of loyal people in his own commissariats, officer corps, secret police, embassies, spy networks, scientific and artistic circles, and party organizations. What could he have been thinking? How was this even possible? Stalin's mass terror of 1936 to 38 was a central episode, but not the central episode of his regime in the period covered by this volume. That designation belongs first to the 1929 to 1933 collectivization of agriculture, then to the 1939 pact with Nazi Germany and its aftershocks. If Stalin's foil in Volume 1 was Trotsky, who, though politically vanquished, will haunt him more than ever, now a second materializes, and not a foreign exile wielding little more than a pen, but another dictator presiding over the rearmament of the greatest power on the continent. Adolf Hitler was 11 years Stalin's junior, born in 1889 in a frontier region of Austria-Hungary. He lost his father at age 15 and his mother at 18. At age 20, Hitler found himself on a breadline in Vienna, his inheritance and savings nearly spent. He had twice been rejected from Vienna's Academy of Fine Arts and was staying in a homeless shelter behind a railway station. A vagrant on the next bed recalled that Hitler's clothes were being cleaned of lice, since for days he had been wandering about without a roof and in a terribly neglected condition. The vagrant added that Hitler lived on various shelters, bread and soup, and discussed politics. With a small loan from an aunt, he got himself into better quarters, a men's home, and managed to find odd jobs such as painting picture postcards and drafting advertisements. He also frequented the city's public libraries, where he read political tracts, newspapers, the philosopher Schopenhauer, and the fiction of Karl May set in the cowboys and Indian days of the American West or the exotic Near East. Hitler dodged the Austrian draft and the police. When they finally caught up with him, they judged the undernourished and gloomy youth to be unfit for service. He fled across the border to Munich, and in August 1914 he joined the German army as a private. He ended the Great War still a private, but its aftermath transformed his life prospects. He would be among the many who migrated from left to right in the chaotic wake of Imperial Germany's defeat. During the November 1918 leftist revolution in Munich, Hitler was in a hospital in Pomerania, but he was released and marched in the funeral cortege of provincial Bavaria's murdered leader, a Jewish social democrat. Film footage captured Hitler wearing two armbands, one black for mourning and the other red. After Social Democrats and anarchists in April 1919 formed a Bavarian Soviet Republic, the Communists quickly seized power.